in the Ask the Devs section of the game, section of the server. Okay, so I see Sniper Girl. This the type of interaction you have with the character impact future conversations or event. I.e., if you're consistently rude to him, Jericho may refuse to sell you meats. Um, no, actually, at this point of the time, we are not going to be having that kind of mechanic, like an influence mechanic with the vendors, because primarily because of our budget, and yeah, and so is there a chance you will add some more non? Oh, sorry, this is come because this comes from Hoot Hoot. So is there a chance you will add some more non-ordinary weapons to the game? Um, no, you're only going to be stuck with that one gun because remember, you're looking at this game from the perspective of a restaurant owner. If you start giving the player, like say for example, machine guns and rocket launchers, yeah, you lose that perspective of being a restaurant owner. So this is, remember, you're struggling with your business in this dangerous area as a restaurant manager, not as a commando. So your decisions in order to keep your restaurant safe is depends on how you work with your traps and how well you look after your employees. Hope that answers your question. Mhm. Yes. Uh, I think there's something I forgot to mention as well. Your gun is not only going to be used to shoot monsters when they attack the restaurant. Like we mentioned before, we're going to have traps, and your gun is going to be a trigger for the traps as well. So, say for example, an exploding barrel. You can use your gun to shoot the exploding barrel when the monsters get close to it. So that's like a trigger for how to like that's a trigger for the traps. And so therefore, we don't want the gun to be something that is just used for shooting monsters. We want to give the gun more mechanics and more depth in its function in the game. Right. Hoot hoot. I like your question. Maybe monsters like eating other small species of monsters, so you can use the small species as bait or something. So yeah. So we've actually thought about that. And you will have certain traps which we can where you use it. We can use monster meat as bait, and they will attract monsters to the trap. And so the interesting thing about traps, which we want to work on, is we want to make the traps work synergetically. And actually, this is what I was planning to talk about in another update, but I won't go into detail. But basically, what you can have is like traps you can that work together. So, say for example, I was mentioning before, an explosive trap can trigger another trap to work, and at the same time, you can have a net trap that will catch the monsters, which can be triggered by the explosion. Things like that. So the way you place your traps will have a lot of um, yeah, there will be a lot of decision making and a lot of strategy in how you place your traps. And yeah, that's a great idea actually. Eating smaller species of monsters. We actually had an idea for a trap like that, but again, we are working on a really small budget here, and if we get more money, we can implement all these traps. Yep, that's the idea. Because if you play a any oh sorry, Hoot Hoot says brilliant. Sounds like you can pull off some nice stunts against monsters. Well, yeah, that's the whole idea. We want to make the monster attacks more interesting and more exciting. And like I said, they only happen at nighttime. And like in the daytime, what you have to do is basically you have to prepare for these attacks that come at night. You have to run the restaurant, make sure the restaurant runs fine, and you also have to prepare your traps. All right. If so, if there's any more questions, otherwise, okay. Maria Curry is saying something. By the way, guys, really appreciate you guys coming. Was it coming online and watching the stream. Hoot hoot. Okay, so Maria Caris asked, would new players be overwhelmed by various systems, restaurant sim, business management, monster battling, resource management, to name a few, or would the systems be introduced at a balanced pace? Yes, Maria Carey, they will be introduced at a very balanced pace. And if you notice our game when it comes to, in comparison with a lot of other tycoon games, a lot tycoon games tend to have a these days tend to have more complex systems. While we don't want to make our systems too complex, because the player has to juggle with this running the restaurant and also keeping the restaurant was that defended from monsters. So yeah, we have thought about it, and that's a very good question. Thanks. So a lot of what well okay, sorry. Okay, so a lot of the game is actually inspired by Frostpunk, and Frostpunk is one of those survival builders, and I think Frostpunk was one of the first games of its kind to actually do it that way. You don't focus so much on um, building the city of your dreams in Frostpunk. You do whatever you need to do so that the people in the city survive. So that's what we wanted also to do with our game as well. So you won't have your typical tycoon restaurant management game where you build the restaurant of your dreams. That's not going to happen here. In fact, we don't plan to have a lot of decorations so that you can make the restaurant look the way you want the restaurant to look. You would like your restaurant to look. In fact, we are having decorations that will actually help with you running the business and in a small way with defense as well. So say for example, Jericho, after if it's part of the story, might actually sell you a big wall mount with a monster head on it, and you can put that into your restaurant. But that wall mount will have properties where it will, like, of course, increase your popularity of the restaurant. But we're also thinking of it in a way that maybe the monsters won't attack that side of the restaurant. But yeah, these are things that we are playing with in terms of was the decorations when it comes to restaurant. Yep. Yes, and um, we'll also be sharing the video of the stream session. And if you have more questions, please feel free to ask. Um, we really want to energize this server. It's been around for I think about 3 months, but really didn't have much to update about. And now we are going to be having a lot more to update about. So you can expect more content to be coming from us beyond this point. Will the clients be killed by more dangerous types of monsters? You mean customers? Right. So yes, your customers can and will die by the hand by monsters, all right? So because like I said before, like how the Zoid works, the Zoid specifically targets tables, right? And what happened? So that's how we are making the Zoid work. But we have other monsters that will come into the restaurant and specifically target customers, or at least at first, before the rest of the staff start fighting the monster. In fact, um, in fact, I think we have a video on our that we shared a small video of what we call the Prawnzilla, which is this giant prawn-like monster attacking the restaurant, and it has this flash, right? Stuns everybody in the restaurant, and when everybody is stunned, it can basically go ahead and do whatever it wants, and like basically killing other customers or your employees. Yes, Sniper Girl says our customer that is going to impact the restaurant popularity for sure. Yes, a lot. So yeah, like I mentioned before, so that's one of the aspects that we in terms of the gameplay as well is where you're always fighting to keep your popularity up with your customers. But if they die, first of all, the popularity of the restaurant is going to go down, and the motivation of your staff also is going to be severely impacted. And like I mentioned earlier on during the build, when it comes to your dishes, you can start putting in dishes on your menu that will either focus maybe on generating you more money, like say for example a dish where when the customer eats it, there's a 50% chance that the customer will order a second dish, and if we have the budget, I guess, um, some customers will actually fight the monsters if they eat a particular dish. Yeah. So I think that's all for now, right? Alex, by the way, Alex is our project manager. He's the guy talking just now, and I think even Yiming's yeah, Yiming's here, and also Yiming, just say hi. Yeah, Yiming is our programmer. So we are the three key people at I mean three main people at Hidden Chest Studios, and we also have like a support crew of a couple other people whose names Ivan and um, Z, right? And Jasper as well. And they're in this community as well. And if you feel like talking to anybody at any time, just go ahead. Oh yeah, we've got also Crispy here. Crispy joined our community, and I learned from him that he was a music producer, and we are actually engaging Crispy to do some of the music in our game. I mean, not some, all the music in our game. Right, thanks Hoot Hoot. Thanks Sniper Girl 21. Uh, Thanks everybody. Maria Curry, thank you so Kuseki as well. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. And looking forward to speaking to you guys until the next update as well. All right. So take care and have a good week. Like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. When we share the video. I mean, all right. Okay, guys. Take care. Ta-da. Thank you.